Well, friends, let me introduce myself. My name is Professor Dr. CSR Prabhu. I am presently the Director of Research and Innovation at Keshav Memorial Institute of Technology at Narayanguda. I had superannuated, that is, took retirement as Director General of National Informatics Center at Delhi in 2014 at the age of 60. I have spent around 30 years in the Government of India in the National Informatics Center at various levels: Principal Systems Analyst, Technical Director, Senior Technical Director, Deputy Director General and Director General. I have handled a large number of IT projects in the government. I have initiated successfully projects like E-Panchayat, Rural E-Seva, Collectorate 2000 and so on. And I have developed many new applications of technologies right up to the village level through projects like E-Panchayat. I have authored 16 books, of which 12 are textbooks in IT. My latest textbook is Big Data Analytics. Before that was Fog Computing, the first book in the world. 3 books I wrote on fog computing, one conference, first conference in the world at KMIT. And I wrote my first book in 1992, Semantic Database Systems, which was the first book in the world after Relational Database Systems. And then Object-Oriented Database Systems, Data Warehousing, Bluetooth applications, e-governance, and Grid and Cluster Computing, and Knowledge Management, and finally Fog Computing and Big Data Analytics. The last 2 books, Fog Computing and Big Data Analytics, are published by Springer at a global edition. Throughout the globe they are being studied, and the other books were published by Prentice Hall India or various other publishers, Orient Longman and so on. So in India we need to keep track of new technology development, and we have to assimilate and deploy, not only in application development like in software services sector, but also in product development and research and innovation. My inspiration in doing all these things, I got many awards. I got the Oracle E-Governance Excellence Award, I got the CAO 100 Award, I got Manthan Award, I got the Patanjali Samman Award, I got the JNTU Distinguished Alumnus Award last year. Among all the JNTU graduates, I am one of the distinguished alumni. I studied MTech at IIT Mumbai, and I also have very illustrious colleagues who studied with me in IIT Mumbai, including Nandan Nilekani, who is the owner of Infosys, and many others who have achieved great heights. And some of them became directors of IITs. I became the Director General of National Informatics Center. And all this is due to my childhood assimilation of the value system and motivation, leadership qualities described in the Bhagavad Gita. You may be surprised to note this. My mother taught me by heart the entire Bhagavad Gita by the age of 10. And by the age of 12, I understood Sanskrit grammar. Therefore, I could understand Sanskrit language. I could translate. I authored books in Sanskrit translations. And that knowledge gave me the spirit of confidence, inquiry, and capability, along with practice of yoga. Because Bhagavad Gita is also Yoga Shastra. It has got yoga as its core principles. And because of Bhagavad Gita and yoga, my capabilities were more than others, and I have achieved great success in not only in IT field but also in other fields. In yoga field, I am the senior most yoga teacher in Telugu states, and I am the head of the Vishwa Yoga Vidyapith, which I founded. I have taught yoga to more than 1 lakh people all over globe. I have established centers in other countries like Melbourne in Australia, USA, and also Germany. Yoga gives you extraordinary powers of memory, intelligence, concentration, determination, recalling capacity, and innovation, creativity. In addition to these two fields, I have also done work in other fields, like I have studied the religious texts of almost all the important texts in Sanskrit. Upanishads, I give lecture series. Vedas, I have studied chanting as well as interpretation. And the Bhagavad Gita was the summary and substance and essence of all the Vedas and the Upanishads. And I have also studied the various Puranas, and I have studied the Shastras, the sciences. And what more exciting is that I am able to not only study ancient science and technology of very advanced nature like Vimana Shastra, and which described the production of spacecrafts and aircrafts with rocketry and metallurgy, material science principles, but I could reproduce some portions of those Vimanas with today's laboratory conditions in material science, and got patents for new materials which don't exist today, given in the Vimana Shastra. So these are some of my achievements in my life, and I have also written a book on the physics of Vaiseshika, which is Vaiseshika Kanada Sutras, translation and interpretation in English. And I also wrote a book called Dharma Yoga as a common framework for all religions, originating from Bhagavad Gita. I proved that all religious scriptures in the world have taken their original content of value of dharma from the Bhagavad Gita and the Upanishads and the Vedas only, and then they added all kinds of things to it to make distortion and create so-called new religions, and then did lot of havoc by creating conflicting situations with conversions and so on, which is all wrong. In Sanatana Dharma, there is no conversion, there is no need for conversion. So if you understand Sanatana Dharma, recently we have launched a course called Sanatana Dharma online course, which is for 3 months. We are covering the entire Sanatana Dharma from the Vedas onwards up to yoga in detail in 3 months in online course, every day 1 or 2 hours. So all these activities I have been doing because of the motivation I got from Bhagavad Gita, and because of the powers, extraordinary powers which yoga practice provides in terms of your concentration, memory, ability, determination, and also communication. Well friends, we will interact more and more on all these different topics from now on. Hello friends, today we will discuss about the importance or benefits or the relevance of Bhagavad Gita in our daily life. We live our life in a very routine manner. We face all kinds of situations, both good and bad, and quite often we face many problems. Today if you look at the TV screens or news channels, you will find terrible things happening. The Ukraine war, or some other violence, or some other unrest, or some other conflicts. So why is it that such terrible things, horrible things, more horrible things, and most horrible things keep happening? And why is it that we land up in situations we don't know what to do, and neither we have a solution nor we understand the cause of the problem? There are conflicts between every individual with every other individual who works with him or her. There are conflicts within the individual, inside the mind, and there are conflicts between two individuals, husband and wife, or brother and brother, or brother and sister, or subordinate and superior, or classmate and classmate. And there are conflicts between countries, not to speak of parties and states. Is it necessary to have this kind of horrible or horrendous complications like COVID or Ukraine war? Is it compulsory? Is it that we had all through our history such things? We heard of the Mahabharata war, which was a world war, and we have seen why Arjuna said he doesn't want to fight a war. But then Krishna told him to fight the war. And why did he ask him to fight the war? And what was the achievement? The Mahabharata war took place around 5,000 years ago. For 5,000 years, the civilization on earth has flourished. After the war, because of the war in a way, because the people who were at helm of affairs at that time, like Duryodhana, were so terrible, were worse than the worst of dictators and people whom we know today or in the recent past. So Lord Krishna established order in the society and ensured this sustenance of society for 5,000 years at least now, by eliminating the negative powers headed by Duryodhana through the Mahabharata war, and established order, which is dharma, through Yudhishthira. And that is how we were able to have a sustainable, flourishing human civilization for the last 5,000 years. So let us examine a little contextually on what are the sources of our problems and what are the solutions. If you look at the crisis in the world, any crisis you take, any problem you take, I have a analysis, fishbone analysis done to the extent to identify 10 major negative emotions as the cause of all the problems in this world. The first negative emotion is ego, ahankara, then mamakara, then ragam, attachment, dvesham, hatred, kama, lust or desire, krodha, anger, lobha, greed, moha, craze, mada, pride, and matsarya, jealousy. And of course, we also have a few others like fear. So these 10 negative emotions, I claim, are the root cause of all problems in this world. I am ready to challenge anyone who can prove me wrong. You take any problem, you take World War II, or you take Mahabharata war, or you take Ukraine war, or you take any problem, crisis, fight between individuals or between societies or countries, you will find one of these 10 or more than one of these 10 negative emotions are causing it. Somebody wants to be powerful and therefore he wants to torment others, or somebody is angry, there is a fight. Somebody is greedy, he will go to any extent to satisfy the greed, to destroy nature, because nature has provided enough for our needs but not for our greed. For example, if you take a problem, a fight between husband and wife, then that fight will have a root cause in one of these 10. Anger, jealousy, lust, greed, ego, arrogance, attachment, hatred. So what will be the solution for any such problem? Even between colleagues in an organization, or between two different organizations, or between two different societies, two different religious communities, or two different countries, you go to the root cause, you will find one of these 10 as predominant reason. Yes or no? I am ready to take a challenge. I can prove, given a crisis, go to the root cause, you will find one of these 10 negative emotions playing a big role in the persons who are concerned, those who are in the helm of affairs. So the question arises, accepting that these 10 negative emotions are the root cause of all problems, what is the solution? The solution is obvious. You have to replace with its opposite. If you have the cause as anger, the opposite of anger is love. If you replace anger with love, that particular problem or crisis shall be dissolved. If you replace greed with charity, generosity, that particular problem of greed will be overcome. Poverty is created. Generosity, charity, magnanimity will overcome it. Charity is created by greed. Conflicts are created by anger, hatred, arrogance. So the opposite are known as dharma qualities or daivi sampat, divine principles or ethical values, moral principles. And the negative emotions are called asuri sampat or devilish, evil forces, evil values or evil feelings or emotions. This is what is conveyed in the Bhagavad Gita very clearly. I will explain you now the process of replacement through a kind of a meditation technique, which is also described in the Bhagavad Gita clearly. If you observe your thoughts, you just calm down, relax in a seat like me. Close your eyes, take deep breaths, relax and keep watching your mind. When you observe your mind, your thoughts which you are getting, the images which are coming and going, the emotions which are coming and going, if all of them come and go and nothing remains as persistent, then you are free from all encumbrances, like a child. A child is free from all encumbrances. Child is happy, playing, smiling, laughing, jumping. But the adults are not so lucky. The adults are bogged down with encumbrances, with worries, with problems, with conflicts, with agendas, with divisions, with fights. So when you observe what is the cause of that problem, within your own mind you will find that one of these 10 is the real culprit within yourself. So keep observing every day, and after a few days it will be weakened because it is being observed. That anger, the intensity of that negative emotion, that greed, that arrogance will be slightly reduced gradually, day by day. And when you observe for a few days, when it becomes adequately weak, you force it out and replace with its opposite by force, because it has already become weak. The opposite of that negative emotion is a positive emotion. As I told you, the opposite of anger is love, the opposite of greed is charity, generosity, magnanimity, or the opposite of pride is humility, the opposite of arrogance is simplicity and humbleness. So serenity, regularity, absence of vanity, sincerity, simplicity, veracity, equanimity, fixity, non-irritability, adaptability, humility, tenacity, integrity, nobility, magnanimity, charity, generosity, purity. These are the 18 itis. Practice daily these 18 itis and the problem is solved. You are free from that encumbrance, the opposite when it replaces the negative emotion. And the positive emotions described as dharma or daivi sampat. I gave a song of 18 itis in English. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is described in the 16th chapter as daivi sampat. Abhayam, sattva samshuddhihi, jnana yoga vyavasthitihi, dhanam, damascha, yajnascha, swadhyaya, tapa, arjavam. Arjavam is integrity, honesty. Ahimsa, satyam, akrodha, tyaga, kshanti, rapaisunam, daya, bhuteshu, aloluptvam, mardavam, softness, hri, intelligence, achapalam, stability, teja, kshama, forbearance, and dhruti, determination, adroha, abhimanita, non-arrogance. These divine qualities given in the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, if they replace the negative qualities of ahankara, mamakara, raga, dvesha, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, then you made your life. You will overcome all problems and free from encumbrances, and you are a free bird. Then the question arises, what will be the motivation, driving force for action? And that also Bhagavad Gita gave a very clear message. You shall serve the humanity. The servitude, service oriented approach. You serve the society for the best of your ability and get results to uplift the downtrodden, help the poor or help the ignorant, and elevate moral, psychological, spiritual spirit. This is what exactly Bhagavad Gita does. This is exactly what Krishna did to Arjuna, who was terribly disturbed and he was trying to run away. So Bhagavad Gita has solutions to all problems in our life. In fact, it is said that anybody with any problem, if he opens up Bhagavad Gita randomly, he will find a solution. It's amazing. And it is a deep psychological, analytical tool. It is a great spiritual, inspirational tool. And it is a great message for motivation, leadership, and psychological well-being from the management perspective, from psychological perspective, from the welfare perspective, and also from the leadership perspective, how to be a leader. So the Bhagavad Gita will give you all possible tips, all possible methods, simple but effective, to excel in your own life, how to perform duty with great success, how to achieve results with great success, with less efforts but more success. This is the secret of Bhagavad Gita, which I will be explaining to you in the next several sessions.